Hello, welcome, come on in, pull up a seat. If you're new here, my name is Dan, and if you're not, you already knew that. I am here with my daughter Carol for what I believe is going to be the last video in this series, and we're going to cover joinery. Now, to go over with you, and audience, if you don't know, there's three basic cuts that we can make with the radial arm saw for joinery. When you're cutting across the grain like this, that's called a dado. When you're cutting along the grain like this, it's called a groove. And when you do a groove on the end of the board, either the short end or the long edge, that's called a rabbet, with R-A-B-B-E-T. Or if you're across the pond, it's a rebate. We can do all of these, and I'm going to show you how to make some basic joints too. We're going to do a half lap joint. We're going to show you some of them with the regular saw blade, but we're also going to get a dado stack out, because the radial arm saw is the premier tool to make dado cuts with. It's so much better than a table saw because everything is on top where you can see it. When you have a table saw, the saw is below the blade, below the table surface, and you raise it up and you're cutting with your joinery down this way so you can't see what you're doing. So honestly, if I had the space, I would have a radial arm saw set up just to do dado cuts with, because it's that good for that. We're gonna make a half lap joint, and I'll show you what that is. Half lap is it's not a joint that's used in fine furniture making, but it's extremely useful for making workbenches and things like that, or more rustic looking pieces. I use it all the time when I'm making the carts for my tools. I basically make half lap joints all the way around and mount the wheels to them. Okay, so the way we make a half lap joint is basically we're going to cut half out of each of these and set them on top of each other. So the first thing you want to do is figure out your dimensions. So what you do is you take one piece, put it on top of the other, make sure it's square, and you make a line, and this is going to be our waist here. So you know how far this way you have to cut. And then of course you're going to do it with this one too. This is going to be our waist. So now you know how far this way you have to cut. Now we need to cut exactly halfway down this. There's a lot of different ways you can calculate halfway down some of them are more accurate than others. We are just going to measure this and then mark at the halfway mark. So that should be an inch and a half thick.
Yep.
So we're going to mark at 3/4. So this is the piece we're going to cut off. So now mark out the rest of that one. There we go. That's how it's supposed to work.
That was good.
And you can put little X's in the part we're cutting away. That way you always know where your waist is.
Because you wouldn't want to mix it up.
Yep. So let's start with this piece. So you want to, now what you need to do is you want to bring the saw forward and lower it so the lowest tooth is in line with your cut line there, just sitting above it.
Oh, you are expecting me to be okay with doing this?
So
all right.
First bring it forward. Bring it forward. And now put the wood right up against the saw blade.
Oh, that makes it easier.
And now just lower it until that saw blade, counterclockwise, yeah. Till the saw blade lines up with that lowest. You want to make sure it's rotated a bit so you're sure you're getting the lowest point there. That looks pretty good. You could maybe go up a hair.
Up a hair?
Yep.
Right there?
Yeah, that should be good. Right. Push the carriage back.
Okay.
So now how this is going to work is you're going to move this over here. So again, the blade is sitting just inside the waist. You're going to make that cut. Then you're going to pull this back this way, the thickness of the blade. Make another cut, make another cut, make another cut until you've hogged out all of that waist.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you understand what you're doing?
Yes. Just keep going.
Yeah. So you want to start. You want to start with the cut against your mark, and then keep taking the waist out in that direction. Push it back.
Oh.
Push this back. Yep. Whenever you're done making a cut, you always want to push the carriage all the way back. Maybe lock it back in place.
Okay.
All right.
Don't be
There is-
dangerous like me. Got it.
There is actually another way to make this horizontal cut. I don't necessarily recommend it for beginners, and I can't do it with this because the piece is too low, but you could unlock this, rotate it all the way so the blade is horizontal, and then just make this horizontal cut. We could have the blade set like that. As you can see, because of the blade guard, there's no way we could get this blade low enough to make this other cut, but there is also like a shit ton of exposed blade over here.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend this for newbies. Once maybe you get more experienced at it, you could consider trying that, and again, only on larger pieces. This is a dado stack. It is basically a bunch of saw blades stacked together that you mash to make a really thick, wide cut. All right, now we need to take this blade off. The open wrench goes on the inside, box wrench on the outside. This is a left-handed thread. So
Fancy.
lefty tighty, righty loosey.
Wait, lefty tighty, righty loosey?
Righty loosey. No, no.
No,
The other
down.
way, down. It takes some getting used to.
Yeah. Get on the knot. Oh,
There you go. Now you should just be able to spin it off with your fingers.
and then?
Take this shim off. Typically I would leave this on, but we're going to leave it off for now because we need the space. Pull the blade off carefully.
We need
Take one of the blades out. Actually, you can take them both out.
and stack them on.
No, put one of them on, but wait. This goes towards the motor. Remember the direction of rotation of the motor? So it's going to be cutting this way.
Oh, those are
Those
cool
are the
looking.
chippers.
And we need how many chippers?
We're going to need 3, but take them all out for right now, but don't put them on just yet. And we need these 2 spacers as well. For this. So put one of the chippers on.
One of the chippers.
Yep.
And it
Make sure
should be
it's facing the correct
same
way. Yep. And make sure none of the teeth are touching. Now put one spacer in. Now put the second chipper on.
None of the teeth are facing, touching.
Now put the second shim in. And then the last chipper, and then the last blade.
Also face it this way.
Correct. Yep.
Like that.
Yep. You want to make sure all it's nice and snug, and then
Put the
put the
washer
nut back on.
Nut back on, I mean. And then tighten it down with this.
Yep. Now make sure that they're all nice and straight, that nothing's cockeyed.
Yeah.
And you also want to make sure that none of the teeth from the chippers or the blades are touching each other.
So this needs to be separated.
Yes. So loosen this nut a little bit.
No, other way, right? Did I just make it too tight? Yeah.
Yeah.
I made it too tight. Oh, there you go. You have stronger fingers than me, so those need to be.
There you go. Yeah. So
That
just
should
move
be
that
good.
down a little bit. Yep. And go ahead and tighten that. Other way. It
backwards.
takes getting used to. Yep. So now, same process. Lower the saw. You need to set the blade. No, it's not going into
No,
the
it's
curve.
going to the line.
It's going to that line. Yep.
Okay.
Once again, like with the other things, if this is the first time you're using a dado, you're going to have to make a curve for it to come through. I've already done that on this.
Oh. Pull it all the way through. Oh.
Probably going to feel more aggressive too.
Yes.
But you can move it way over now.
Gary doesn't
Stop. Oh. Yeah, finish it up.
Whoop. That really did go much faster, even though it could have went faster if I wasn't nervous.
Yes, you can see how much faster that cuts. And So yeah, we're off a little bit, but that's fine.
We're off a bit, but
That's how that joint works. And you can actually do it this way, or you could, in theory, do it this way. Typically, these joints are clamped together with screws and maybe glue if you want. You could just glue them and clamp them, depending on what kind of application you've got going on. So that dado stack is much, much faster.
yeah,
Yeah.
and could be faster if I wasn't so nervous.
Yeah,
it
it's-
is a lot more tension.
Yes, you could feel, because you're making a much wider cut, you could feel it pushing a lot harder,
Yes.
couldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Believe me, the first time I ever used the dado stack, I was terrified. That is a frightening piece of equipment.
Yeah, it is.
Like the devil's teeth. So that's how you make a half lap joint on a radial arm saw, with or without a
Unsuccessfully.
dado.
As a newbie.
So yeah, so you want to be more precise with your gapping, but that's fine. This is just a test. So, all right. So you can see I made these with that same dado stack. So you can see if you have a 3/4 inch wide piece and you want to join it together, you just use a dado stack and make a groove like that, or a dado like that, and it'll slot right into place,
Oh,
nice and tight
nice
like
and
that.
tight.
You can do dados with just a regular blade, again, by making a bunch of passes like we did before. You can do that for a rabbet on the end or a dado. It's a lot harder to do for a groove or a rabbet along the edge, because you're going to be ripping. So you make your first rip and then you push it back, and you make your second rip and you push it back. It's just a lot more cumbersome. So I really wouldn't do these on a radial arm saw without a dado stack. A router is a better tool for that if you're going to do that. A tenon, you'd cut like that to make a tenon, except you'd go all the way around about a third. So what you'd end up with is a rectangle like this,
In the center.
and all of this gets cut away.
The outside gets cut away.
Right.
Oh.
So you can do that. Like I showed you, you can make, with the regular blade, you can make the pass, flip the carriage on the edge and make your cut that way, as long as your piece is big enough.
Yeah.
You can make the multiple passes, or you could make dado passes. You'd start with it like this. Typically, it's a rule of thirds. So the tenon is going to be 1/3 the width or the thickness of your piece, and this is going to be a third, and this is going to be a third.
Okay.
And if you're going to do it like this with a dado stack, I would recommend using a clamp to clamp this up against the fence. So that's another type of joinery you can do, is making tenons. You can technically even make dovetails. I haven't tried it yet, but a dovetail is basically a tenon, except these are angled
Outward.
instead of straight. Hence you get this triangle shape. That's the dove's tail.
Yeah.
So you can do that with this too, but again, you'd have to do the top cut, and then you'd have to angle the blade and make an angled pass through that piece. Anything smaller than a 2x4, it really doesn't work well on a radial arm saw. All right, and that is it for doing some basic joinery with the radial arm saw. Like I said, if you can get yourself a dado stack, I will use this to make dado and rabbet cuts all day long over a table saw. And I think that's it for the series. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And have fun and be safe. And we'll see you in the next video.
I'm making a cross